Hello, hello. I've been working on some beats in Maschine, and I have to say I'm really enjoying it. I've been working with the Maschine Micro, and I really like how it's small on my desk, and I know it doesn't have as many options, obviously, as the Maschine MK3, just because it's smaller. It doesn't have the screens, but I really enjoy working with it and combining using it as a piece of hardware with the software, using the pads. So I'm really digging it. Anyway, so this is a beat that I'm putting together, and I just thought I'd bring you into my arrangement process. It varies where I arrange things. I tend to like to make a beat in Maschine and then bring it out of there into a linear type of DAW, just because I find it's easier to work for my brain. I feel like it's easier to work linearly and to add in those extra touches. But I figured I'd just sort of play around with this in Maschine to give you an idea of how to take basic beat that you put together and break it down into the different patterns, machine scenes, and how the whole Maschine layout works. So let's do that. Let's take a listen to it. This is what I got here. This is everything. So I have this guitar strumming. I have these little strings going off. My drums. A sample that I pulled into Serato sample. And then my bass. Okay, so that's all the pieces. So you want to click on this little button up here. This is going to bring you into the space where you can actually lay out your beat. So I had it in my head. I'm going to rename this intro. I find it really helps me to name things accordingly. And in my head, so I'm going to put this pattern in here. I thought I'd have like the guitar and then the sample. So like this. I like that. And here I am going to actually remove that. I think that was from before. So in here, I'm going to put in, going to put in pattern 1 again, put in my sample again, and I'm going to bring in this intro for my drums. So just so you can see how this works. So when my mouse is so this is where I'm going to bring in the verse. So just right click here, and then you get this option to pick anything that you have in there. So for example, in my guitar, I have pattern 1, pattern 2, and bridge. So when I right click in my drum spot, this is what I have. I have intro, verse, chorus. So this is going to be, do another 8-bar intro. That's a long intro. Always so tricky. The really cool thing is that you actually can, when I export this, you'll see you can rearrange it once you get in your linear DAW, which is helpful sometimes because sometimes you want to change things around. Maybe you decide that you want something to go for less bars, more bars, so it is easy to change it around. See how this sounds. I actually like that. I call this like an intro for the drums, but I actually sort of like that there. I like it quiet like that. And then what I can do is I'll probably come into, for here, I'm going to do pattern 1 again. And then I have a chorus. And let's do pattern 1. Oh, I forgot my bass. Duh, forgot my bass. My bass I would bring in this first verse here, and then it would stay in there. And then let me name this chorus. And I'd probably bring in my strings here too. We got to the chorus. After the chorus, we'd probably do another verse. So that's when I can bring in my other drum pattern that I had set up for verse. What did I do? Dun, dun, dun. Verse 2. Again, I'm labeling everything. Keep my bass in. Maybe in this one, I actually can keep my strings in. And let's see if it would sound weird if I don't have my sample in anymore. Yeah, I like keeping my sample there for the whole thing. So let's see. I like that. I like the way it sounds. But I'm almost thinking I want to take these strings out. Let's see. All right, after this verse 2, I thought about adding like a little bridge here. So let's see. I had a little drum thing for it. Let's see what it might sound like. Get rid of the sample, get rid of the bass, and then I had this bridge here. Let's see. I actually really don't like that. Maybe I'll let the sample shine on its own here. Yeah. So I'll put that's my bridge. And then this would break into chorus again. So let's put that there. And I'd probably, at this point, let's see. At this point, what I do, my chorus puts me at like 208. Like this is this would be a short song. So you could do your chorus twice. I mean, there's lots of options, obviously, for arrangement, what you're into doing. It all is personal opinion, right? I mean, it's just really, it's a matter of taste. So let's see, do another one, pattern 1, chorus again, keep my pattern going, keep my bass going, and then this would probably be an outro here. So maybe I would break, let's see, put this, maybe break it down, like down to this like little intro thing. So there's not a lot going on again. Keep the sample going. Keep that going. we'll do one more. We will do our sample, and we will just do, maybe we'll keep it short like that. All right, now I haven't really put any effects on anything. My idea is once I drag it into my linear DAW, that's when I'll do that. So this puts the song in at, how long is the song? If I get over there, that's, yeah, 307. Like, I think that's a nice length for a song. So I have an intro, verse, chorus, bridge, 2 chorus, and then like this outro area where somebody could potentially sing over. And I'd probably want to keep my bass here still. All right, so I think that I like this. So basically, let's get it out of here and get it into Studio One. So let me do that, and I'll be right back. Yeah, so I was going to export this, and I thought I was going to pause it, but I figured, hey, you guys probably need to learn how to do this too. So go up to File. You're going to go to Export Audio. You want to make sure that you have all selected. So that means you're exporting like your whole song, and you want to have all your sound inputs. So that you get, like, for example, under kits, you get each individual sound. I do wave, 44, 100 at 24-bit, and you want to pick where you want to export it. I'll put it on my desktop, and let's export it there. And so you get an idea of what this process looks like. And so it's taking, again, my whole layout that I did here in the arrangement, and it's basically like exporting stems, column stems, wave stems, so that then I can take those into any DAW that I want to, and I can work with them further. I can put effects on them. I can level up things more. So let me show you what that looks like. So here's the folder, and now here are all the individual files. So you'll hear, like, here's my snare somewhere, and here's the kick. All right, so now I'm going to take these and pull them into Studio One layout, I guess, or live. Sometimes I have trouble deciding where I want to pull things into, but let's go into Studio One, I guess. All right, so I opened up Studio One, and my project, let me see what it was, I forget. It was at 82 BPM, so I want to make sure that this is at 82, so that we're at the same amount of BPMs here. And I am going to take these and bring them in. So it's as easy as just dropping them in. And let's see. All right, so you can look over here. I mean, just to be sure. So my song, it ends at 321. So we have everything here. And then it's just a matter of like figuring out how and what you may want to change. And sometimes what I like to do is actually open the chord track and the arranger track, and actually label things, because I had it labeled nicely in Maschine, and now I don't have it labeled here anymore. But from here, you can really do anything you want. Sometimes it's good to actually label things a little bit better. I could have done that on the export, but for example, like, it's hard to see right what's over here. So you might want to relabel this stuff. So I know that this is guitar. That way it's just more clear, and down here you can see everything better, which is nice. So, you know, it's just easier. It's easier. It's good to keep things organized. And so from here, I could, for example, say, okay, like I want to give my kick a little something extra. Actually, let me go over here. So depending on what kind of plugins you use, you could go and you could say, okay, I want my kick to hit harder, in which case I would use probably Smack Attack, and I would put that on my kick. And maybe I would switch it to Kick Fat Bastard, which tends to give you a little bit of oomph. Depending on what you want going on in your snare, you can give that a little more oomph. And then I would probably just like level it all out just to make sure like my bass seems a little loud. And I won't bring you through the whole process because it takes me a while. So I'm going to go through this. I'm actually going to add in some risers when we switch over, like from the verse to the chorus, just make things a little more interesting. And so I'll come back to you once I have the finished product in place. All right, I actually didn't add that much to it. So you can see that I took the arranger window and I split everything up so that I easily could tell intro, verse, chorus, where my bridge was, and then my outro, and just added a few things in terms of adding some silence, some pause, and then a few special things like this voice riser here. And then I added this little thing. So not much. In terms of, in terms of the mix, just added a few, like some sound toy decapitator to these strings. It sounded pretty cool. I added some reverb to the guitar. What else? Not much. I really just didn't do much. I added some to the sample. I added some retro color RC20. It just gives it like a little bit. I always add this Kramer bass thing to my bass. I feel like it helps it sit in the mix a little bit better. I don't know. That just might be in my head. It's really hard to hear. I don't know why this track spacer is in here. I was gonna sidechain, but then I just didn't feel like I had to. Kramer tape on my drum bus just to give it a little bit of glue. And did I add anything on my mix? No. I'd usually add something on my master bus, and that varies just because I feel like I've been playing around with a lot of stuff lately and just trying to get an idea of maybe what the sound is. Just trying to learn. I'm really trying to learn a lot. That's the thing, like the learning part. When I go through and I come up with the beat sketch, and then I come over to Studio One and I arrange it, I just really can see how much I need to learn. And on one side of things, I get frustrated because it's like I want to be there already. But on the other side of things, I know it takes time. It just takes time. But and it's a matter of making beat after beat after beat to really just get down the process to the creative process, the mixing process, just hearing things and hearing where I need more, where I need less. It's all a process, and just wanted to put that out there that, everybody's human. This journey in terms of learning how to make great music. People who make great music don't always even make great music. So you just don't know what the journey's going to be like. There's going to be some good ones. Like I'll make a song. I'll be like, oh my God, this one's like excellent. Like, oh, I did such a good job. And then the next song I make may be total crap. But every song I make, like, I feel like I'm learning something from it. And I just have to accept that things take time, like I said, in one of my other videos, it's a marathon, it's not a race, and you just really need to accept that's the case. So I'll play out the whole song, and thanks for joining me in this video today.